Well, hey everybody, what's up? So I am trying to get my EcoFlow Smart Generator dual fuel hooked up to my RV by using the onboard tanks. And because EcoFlow and the Smart Generator comes with their own proprietary connector, it does make it a little bit difficult because you have to use this setup, which actually it looks more like this one, with the regulator that's on board that connects to a propane tank like that one right there. And so the problem is that with this proprietary connector, it doesn't allow you to hook up into anything else because you cannot get this particular connector. So I actually had to take, this is the original one, I actually got a hold of the company who makes this connector, and they're out in China. And I found the company that makes them, had them send me another one. I really just wanted the connector with basically a barbed nipple on it or something, so I could make my own. I tried hooking this one up to several different things, and the only way you can, I had a quick connect on here, but then you're double regulated, so that doesn't work. So I ended up getting that other one to have as a fail-safe just in case. And because I'm kind of tired of waiting, well, I just don't want to deal with it anymore, so I'm going to make my own by just lopping this off. And well, now there's no going back, so basically just need to get a nipple. I'm going to put a quick connect on there and then hopefully get this to work so I can just use my onboard tanks instead of having to use this and this. Now, some of you are probably wondering how come I didn't try to find a connector. Well, I did. This is actually the original connector, and this is your normal kind of quick connect that you would find on many different types of barbecues or on your RV and everything else. And if you notice, they are just slightly different. If I hold them up here, let me see if we can get this in focus for you guys. You notice a slight difference between the two. This actually makes it to where the one that you would normally just kind of get at any store, since it's too long, it basically restricts the flow. I can't get the generator to run, maybe any longer than just a few seconds. And also this part here, if you notice, try to get that in focus for you. But this part of the little flange here, this part of the end of the nipple, is slightly longer or wider and has a totally different type of connector also inside. When you look at this here, these are not normal. It's pretty hard to see, obviously, because of just, you're trying to focus something inside of there. But this has a really specific type of coupler. And so, again, I tried to find one, but they just don't make these anywhere. So I found the company. They sent me the whole kit with this nipple because I was getting ready to buy one of these and put it inside the generator and take it apart. I didn't want to do that. That was a last chance or kind of a last ditch effort to get my onboard system on my RV to work. So I'll show you what I come up with, and then we'll see if it works. You ever feel like you just live inside Home Depot sometimes? Oh, and here we are, brass fittings. Brass, brass, brass. Brass, brass, and more brass. Brass, brass, ooh, brass. All right, here we go. We need something like this to fit that. All right, I think those will work. Let's try it. Okay, so these are the products that I bought. And I'll also have links in the description down below. So we're gonna take this guy and shove it in here, but since this tube is 5/16 and this is 3/8, it's just enough to where you can get it in there, but it's actually really stiff, so which is good because then you won't really have any leaks. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna heat this hose up, make it really flexible, and then that'll allow it to go right on. There we go, look at that. That's nice and tight. Now once this cools down, because it's really flexible right now, but once it cools, it's gonna shrink on there and get real tight. That thing's gonna be super tight. Now you will wanna put a clamp on here as well, I'm going to use one of these. These are kind of called like Oetker clamps. There's a couple different names for them, but you just basically use a crimping tool like this. It'll crimp it and stitch it down. And this is way better than using one of the screw down clamps. Those are not as reliable as these. And these make a much tighter fit. So put this guy about right there. And you don't have to overdo it. You're just going to get it pretty snug. And that's about it. And now this guy is not moving. This is a coupler. And this is that fitting that I showed you earlier. This is going to be what I'm going to use to connect to my camper or the RV. And then now should be our finished product, so we'll go finish up the RV side. Okay, so generator is back out here. And now we have our completed line. This is going to be the supply line for my RV, which goes right up here. And sorry, this is all a mess because again, it's all under construction, but you can see up there, there's my valve. It's kind of way up in there. And I'm going to actually be moving this more than likely to the other side over here. That'll give me a little bit more length. That way I'll be able to run the generator more on the right side and be able to kick it out over there, which kind of wish I had completed this video a different day, because I'm in Northern California and this is what it's doing right now, which this is a once a year thing, but this has been happening like, several times this year, more than we normally get. I had at least 8 inches, so just a couple weeks ago, but let's get this back going and get this connected. Okay, one thing we want to check is if we have any leaks. I'm going to use this little propane detector pin. This detects all kinds of gas, whether it's swamp gas, propane, natural gas, and more. This is actually a little wonder. It's only 25 bucks, but you just come along here and you sweep along. This is already pressurized. I have the line on, as you can probably see up there. And then you just sweep this along, and this does a little sniffing, and you can watch the little bars there. And so far, everything looks good. Nothing on this side either, just a check. And if we disconnect this right here, we should get a little sniff of something. Well, maybe not. Yeah, it's pretty much off. Oh, yeah, there it went. You shove it right in there. There it goes. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll see if it's actually leaking out or if that was just what was left, because you will get that residue that's inside of there. So hey, look at that. But this is one reason too, is that I don't trust these, and I always have my valve off up there as well. So, and that's just a secondary, but other than that, I think we're good to go, at least for our test. Okay, we'll turn this on over here. All right, so I'm assuming there should be some air in this line, so we'll see how many times it takes to start. And it is cold out here. I mean, I ran this yesterday, so we will see how she does. I guess we'll press and hold that, won't we? Thing I might have to figure out a way on how to prime this. Oh, ooh! Well, look at that. All right, so that is what I've been trying to accomplish, and with that other line, we couldn't do it. So now, as long as it holds a load, then my supply line will obviously have enough supply to be able to keep the generator running while it's under load, so we'll go ahead and hook that up. And we'll turn this on real quick, since it's probably on standby or off. Oops. There it goes. just so you guys can see the temperature. 45 degrees where my EcoFlow Delta Pro is sitting, and that's been running now for just a couple minutes. So far so good. It's still running at about 800 watts though. So overall, I'm totally happy now that I got this to work with my onboard tanks, because instead of a 20-pound tank that gives you about 20 kilowatt hours of power that it will provide into the Delta Pro, now that I have two 30-pound tanks, I mean, you can imagine that's a lot more power there. So that, and with solar on board and only using this once in a while for more of the heavy loads, you'll be able to really stay gone if you're boondocking kind of out in the middle of nowhere. And as long as you have food and water, you're pretty much good to go. So now my RV is just another step closer to where I wanted. I still have my solar that I have to get on board. But if you guys have any questions about this or anything else, let me know down in the comments. And I hope you liked the video, and I hope to see you guys next time.